And instead of celebrating Father's Day yesterday, the family of a young Bronx dad spent the day planning his funeral after he was shot to death outside his home in Eastchester on Saturday.
They killed my son. He was innocent. He don't do nothing bad to him. These little murders. They're all murders.
He was a good father, see him pushing his child, and his mom did her best to protect all her children, keep them in the house. She tried, getting them out of the hoods. I don't know what he could have done, or why would anybody want to take a life like that, it's just like meaningless.
Well, it was certainly a violent weekend across the city, but especially in the Bronx, where another man was shot and killed in West Farm. Joining us this morning to address the public safety issue and more is Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson. So good to see you, Borough President.
Thank you so much.
Sorry that we have to begin today on a tragic note here, but there was this shooting over the weekend, 2 shootings, right, within several hours of each other outside of the Eastchester Gardens area. What are you doing, I guess, to restore the fact that people are losing trust in the public safety aspect of things?
We continue to work with so many of our credible messengers and anti-gun violence organizations, our partners at the NYPD, District Attorney Darcel Clark, and so many others to really address gun violence and the fact that it has really disrupted the lives of so many children and families. We had 5 shootings Saturday night into Sunday, 2 fatalities, Eastchester Gardens and Lambert houses, and 3 other shootings that were non-fatal. And every time there's another shooting, there are families that are impacted, children that are lost, and parents should not have to bury their children. It's so sad, it's so heartbreaking, and it's really unacceptable. It's only June, and I worry about the summertime when thousands of students are out. That's why we're pushing with the City Council to make sure the adopted budget has more summer youth programs, cornerstones. We're opening more Saturday night light sites in the Bronx because we want to open our campuses and school buildings Saturday nights for activities for students, but we know that's not enough. The supply of guns is real, and we seem to see more guns in the Bronx and the city of New York every single day. So it's so painful, but our work does continue.
Yeah, speaking of painful, this family, Miguel Molina's family, I mean, he's 22 years old,
Young.
has a baby girl. I mean, did you speak with the family at all?
Not as of yet. We do make calls and we do reach out to the family. The immediate time that it happens, obviously, is so painful and emotional. We are still working with the families of those that we lost in a fire last week. So we will reach out to those families Tuesday, to Miguel's family, and certainly to the other young man we lost in Lambert houses.
And you just mentioned that fire, which brings me to the next topic, because that was a big cause for concern, right, in the Wakefield section where 2 people died, this fire erupting in the building. What are you hearing from the Department of Buildings about what exactly may have gone wrong in that building?
So we had 2 fires. On Sunday, June 11th, we had a fire on Noble Avenue in Soundview, and that was a full vacate. All of the families were displaced, given temporary housing in local hotels. And then that Tuesday, we had the fire up in Wakefield on 242nd. 2 fatalities, a husband and wife. One died in the apartment, the other at the hospital. Our hearts go out to those families. We were on scene with the elected officials and had to tell the ex-husband that the mother of his children perished in the fire. It was not easy. They have a 14-year-old that was in school at the time, and our immediate priority is getting families shelter. If they are able to go back into their apartments, they will be able to get personal belongings and other items. But right now, we do not know the cause of either fire. But we do know that both started in the roof, and we also know that the same landlord owns these buildings. And so we're working with FDNY marshals, DOB, emergency management. American Red Cross really has done tremendous work under some extreme circumstances. We are out of hotels in the Bronx.
But that building in the Wakefield section had a history of violations, and code violations as well.
And other fires.
So is that playing a factor in the investigation here?
I believe so. We've been speaking to FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh about it, and obviously there's a lot of speculation. If you talk to tenants, this was not a landlord that was a good neighbor. There were lots of violations and lots of complaints and 311 calls, and that always happens. And we've tried since Twin Parks last year to strengthen the system, to streamline the system between DOB, HPD, and FDNY as it relates to inspections, smoke alarms, fire alarms, self-closing doors to make sure they close. And I feel like we've made a lot of progress, but a lot of these buildings are old. They're aging. The infrastructure, the roofs, the HVAC, the elevators, these are old buildings, and they really need to be transformed and remodeled.
Let's switch gears now. So the Bronx drivers being put on alert this week. Stay out of the bus lanes. Cameras in the buses. How many are equipped with them now? Do you know?
So we know that they are starting with one of the bus lines in the Bronx. The buses in the Bronx are slow, and that's why I supported the Bronx redesign plan with the MTA and New York City Transit last June, because we want buses to move faster. People complain about slow buses, the bus is not coming on time, and that's simply because you have a lot of traffic in the bus lanes. Fordham Road, so many of our dedicated bus lanes that are for buses that unfortunately have other traffic. And we understand we never want to implement something by punitive measures, by fines and, enforcement, but the city has to do something to change the behavior. And what we've seen over time is when you implement that first camera enforcement and you get the first infraction, you usually are not a repeat offender. And so cameras do help. We're trying to send a message. Buses need to move. We need to create more east-west corridor connections with buses. We're getting the Metro North expansion. We're doing a lot to really move mass transit in the Bronx as well as make it safe.
All right, very good. So look, this past weekend there was Pride celebrations in the Bronx. You're going to be out there today for Juneteenth as well. And then we here at Pix 11 are celebrating our 75th anniversary, which you're acknowledging as well.
Yes, happy Pride, happy Juneteenth, happy Freedom Day, happy Caribbean Heritage Month.
Yes, so much going on.
PIX, happy 75th anniversary on behalf of us all in the Bronx. We celebrate you. We congratulate you for all of your incredible achievements over the years. Happy 75th anniversary, PIX 11.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
This
much.
is for you.
We appreciate
it.
that.
Look at
I hope I'm the
That's
first borough
wonderful.
president that has presented that to you.
You are the
Yes, you
first.
are, and we so appreciate it. We really
Thank
do.
you. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Continued
thank you
success.
very much. We love everything that we do here. Our viewers, we would be nothing without them too.
Absolutely.
And
Good
so many of them are
relationship.
Bronx residents.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So how are you honoring Juneteenth today?
So we have a number of events today, working with elected officials. We have panel discussions. We're going to do a big celebration in Crotona Park, Concourse Village. There is an event in Van Cortlandt Park today. We just want to celebrate Juneteenth as a holiday, June 19th, 1865, and the liberation of African slaves. We're all African. We all come from the African diaspora. And we want to recognize that in Galveston, Texas, there were slaves that were still not free, even after the Emancipation Proclamation. So for me, this is a holiday. I raised the Juneteenth flag at Bronx Borough Hall last Friday. So we want everyone in the Bronx and the city of New York to know how important Juneteenth is to celebrate our freedom as Americans.
It certainly is. And Bronx Borough President, thank you again for coming in this morning. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so
for the
much.
proclamation.
Yes,
Absolutely.
this is
Congratulations
wonderful.
to you.
We
Thank
like
you.
Pix 11 Day. All right, very good.